Today, I'm going to show you a step-by-step way on how to properly format a Word document. These formattings can be utilized for your assignments, for your lab reports, for your theses, for your portfolios, and any other types of document and make them look more professional. For the sake of demonstration, I will be using Microsoft Word, but similar steps can be found in other word processing softwares such as LibreOffice and Google Docs. If there is a necessity, I will bring those in a future video. For now, I will open up Microsoft Word and start a blank document. First and foremost, you should enter your guidelines to the system. These guidelines includes your font size, line spacing, style of alignment, and etc. These can be different from country to country, from institution to institution, but for this video purpose, I will be following a certain set of guidelines. First, you need to set your font and font size. For that, you need to go to this font area in Microsoft Word, and there is a small button where you can get an expanded settings. If you press this, you will get the expanded setting of font. So here, firstly, we need to select the body, and we need to select the font size as regular, and font style is regular, and font size. For this video purpose, I will be using size 12. And the body, you need to actually select the font that you are going to use for the rest of your document. There are many professional fonts that you can use. For this video, I will be using Times New Roman. In this window, I have set my font, I have set my font style, and I have set my font size. And you can see a preview in the bottom area. If you're happy with these settings, you can set these settings as default and apply to this document only. This will make sure that in any given place of this document, these settings will be applied. So I will click OK. And you can see these settings are automatically changed. And then you need to move to the paragraph section of Microsoft Word. And again, if you click this button, you will get the expanded settings for paragraphs. And in this, you need to first select your alignment, whether your font is left aligned, centered, right, or justified. For many professional documents, you need to go with justified alignment. And after that, we are not having any indentations at this rate, but we have a specific line spacing requirement. So if you go to the spacing tab, you have something called the line spacing. In standard documents, usually either single line spacing or 1/2 line spacing is preferred. So in this video, I will select 1.5 lines, that is 1/2 spacing. Then you can again set this as default. It will make sure that throughout your document, these settings will be applied. And again, you see the settings are applied in the paragraph section. Next, this is the most important part, and the part where many fail to do some proper formatting is your headings. If you want to automatically generate a table of contents, you should use these styles such as heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and etc. Only if you use them, you can automatically generate your table of contents. However, Microsoft Word by default does not apply your standard formatting to these styles. So you need to change them before you begin your document. So what you can do is you can go to heading and you can right click. When you right click, you have an option called modify. When you click modify, you can see a formatting tab here. Inside this, you can set your specific font size, whether it's bold, italic, or underlined, and you can select your color. Usually, this font type will be the same as your body, so I will select Times New Roman. And the size, it depends on the requirement, but in this illustration, I will select size 12, bold, all caps for heading 1. So I will select size 12, and then I will select bold, and then the color should be black. Capitals, you can always press the caps lock when you are inserting the heading. So these formatting options is applied for your heading 1, and you can click OK. You can do the same thing for heading 2. You can right click and select modify, and again for the formatting I will select Times New Roman. Font size I will select 12, and I will bold it, but I will not capitalize them. So this is Times New Roman, size 12 and bold. Again the color is black. Then I will select OK. Then I will be using another heading. So I'm using main heading, subheading, and a subheading, which is known as heading 3. So if you click on heading 2, you can enable heading 3 as well. So you can right click on heading 3 and click modify. Again, I will be using Times New Roman, and I will be using size 12. But for my third heading, I will not be using bold. Instead, I will be using the italic option. And then again, color, I will select black. So now our settings are finalized. You have your font and your font size, you have your alignment and your line spacing, and you have the specific formatting set for your headings. Normal mode is what we are typing our normal paragraphs, but when you want to put a heading or subheading or a subheading, you can select one of these options. Once you set these, you don't have to change it anywhere else in your document. So that is the advantage of doing all these changes right before you start typing. Now let's move on to the pages. The first page of any report, any document is obviously a cover page. This cover page standards varies across the board. So for this purpose, I will not be utilizing a cover page. Instead, I will just type the word cover page. You can put whatever you want. It might be predefined by your institution, so you can put that. Then the next page is your table of content. So next page is your table of content, but I'm not going to put anything here because I'm going to automatically generate the table of contents. So I can say this is where the table of contents go. After table of contents, in a professional document, you have the list of figures and list of tables. So I will type list of figures and list of tables. Again, I'm not going to insert any content because you can automatically generate the list of figures and list of tables. I failed to mention one thing in the very beginning, that is your page margins. So page margins you can change as well in the very beginning. Usually it is also given in the guidelines. For many professional documents, if you want to change the guidelines, the margins, you can go to the layout tab in Microsoft Word. Then you can go to margins. Many documents uses 1-inch margin across the document, but certain cases it might be different. If you want to change it, you can either select one of these presets, or you can click on custom margins, and from here you can define what is your top margin, left margin, right margin, and bottom margin. And again you can click set as default, so that this will be applied for your entire document. But in this case, I will leave with 1-inch margins across the page. So after your table of contents, your list of figures and your list of tables, you start your document. You will obviously start with your heading, the main heading. So I will click on heading 1, and my heading 1 is all capital. So I will enable caps lock and I will type this is heading 1. After typing, you can press enter, then the style will automatically revoke to normal. and this is your normal style. So you can start typing. Now I will get some text, extract some text from the internet. So if I want this paragraph, I will just copy this paragraph. Now this is something to keep in mind. When you click paste or control V, this will not carry out the formatting of your Word document. This will carry on the formatting of the source that you copied the text from. So if you want to keep the text formatting while you are copying and pasting, instead of just pressing Ctrl V, you need to go to this paste options. You need to select the option called keep text only. It is the clipboard symbol and A. So if you click that, then your text will be pasted with your formatting. So this is easy way that you can keep the formatting while copying and pasting. You can also use a keyboard shortcut called Ctrl V, and after pressing Ctrl V, you need to press Ctrl again and you need to press T. When you do that, this will automatically carry on the formatting. After completing the contents for your heading 1, if you want, you can move on to a new heading, or you can go to another subheading. So for this subheading, I will choose heading 2, and this is my subheading. So I will write and if you want, you can even number your heading. So for the main heading, I can say 1.0, and for the subheading, I will say 1.1. So my heading and subheadings are okay, and I will again copy some text from the internet and I will paste it, so the formatting is also there. And if you want, you can go for another subheading, or you can go to a new topic altogether, new heading. So I will select a new page and I will again click heading 1. So I will say this is my heading 2. Again, I will paste some text here, and now I will show you what you can do, the steps you need to take when you are pasting a figure, when you are having a table, because even those things need to go through some proper formatting, especially if you are labeling your figures and your tables. So I will start a new subheading for this. So I will say 2.1, and inside this subheading I will start another subheading called heading 3, and I will call this 2.1.1 figures. And here I can include any figure I like. So I go to Google Images, and this is an image that I like to get to my Word document. So I will copy the image and I will go to the Word document and I will paste it. And this is my figure, so I can resize it however I like. And always in a professional document, the figures, it is preferred if they are centered. So you can press Ctrl E or this center alignment button, and it will align it to the center. And also the respective figure label is also in the center. So you, to insert the figure label, you can go to references tab, right? When you go to references tab, you see something called insert caption. This is an option under captions category. So if you go to insert caption, you can select what you want to have as a label, whether it's an equation, whether it's a table, whether it's a figure. So this is a figure. So inside this caption, you can say figure 1. I can put a colon and I will say robot. image of a robot. Now I will click OK. If you want, you can exclude the label from the caption as well, but in this case I want the label and the caption, so I will select OK. Now this figure appeared in out of alignment, and also the text was out of context, so I will center it using Control E. Then I want to make it black color, and then if I want, I can have the labels in a smaller font size, or I can go to the default font size as well. After this, very important, you need to insert your reference, because I didn't take this picture is not my own property, I took it from the internet, so I should give credit to where I got this image. So I will go to my source, and if I click on it, I can see a website where this image has appeared from theverge.com. And what I can do is, I can first of all copy this link. Then you don't need to manually create the references. You don't need to manually type anything, because Word has an option called citations. If you go to citations, you can basically do all the referencing with very few steps, but you need to first select your style of reference. In this case, I will use Harvard referencing, but you can use APA, IEEE, or anything. That's up to the preference. So I will go to citation, and I will select add new source. After this, I need to select what is the source that I am creating. So this is actually from a website, so I will select website. And when you select website, you can see the contents change, and the author, you need to select the author. So in certain cases, the author will be there. So here in this sort of article, you can see the author's name called Nick. So I can copy it and I can paste it, or you can go to edit option in the author, and you can enter the last name of the author and the first name of the author separately. So after entering, you can say add. So the author is there. So name of the web page is The Verge, and year of the page published is 2020, and year accessed is 2023, month accessed is 8, day is 18th, and here you can paste the URL that you copied earlier. So I will copy this again, and this is the URL for my figure, and this is my citation for the figure that I just obtained from the internet. I will insert that, and this is the caption that I want to put, but it is again out of alignment, so you need to center it using Control EO, the center button in the paragraph alignment tab. This is a sample way of how you can insert a figure, how you can label a figure, and how you can reference a figure when you are creating a professional document. Now let's move on to a table. So tables are in it is in a subheading, so I will select heading 3, 2.1.3. this is tables. Tables also, it follows the same thing, but usually in a table, the caption and the respective reference comes on top rather than the bottom. In this case, I will not be downloading a table from the internet. I will just create a random table of some figures. So this is my table, and since I created it, I do not have a reference, but I need to put the label. So again, you go to References tab in Microsoft Word, you go to Insert Caption. Now you are inserting a table caption, so you need to select table as your label style, and again you can put a colon and say sample table for demonstration purposes. And you can click OK. After that, you need to manually change the alignment and the font effect. So this is italic, so I don't want that. I want black color, and I need the size of 12. but if you need to have a smaller size, you can do it, depends on the guidelines. So here I have a main heading called heading 2. I have a subheading called 2.1 figures and tables. Then under that I have another subheading 2.1.1 for figures. I have the figure itself, the figure label and the reference where I got it, and I have the table subheading 2.1. This should be 2, and the table caption and the table itself. So this is how you can insert a figure and a table and format it professionally when you are developing a professional document in Microsoft Word. A similar thing can be followed for equations as well, because even if you go to references, insert caption, you can select equation as a label as well. I showed you how to take the referencing through the citation process in Microsoft Word for a website, but I will also show how you can take it for a conference paper or a research paper or a journal paper as well. So for this, I will again create a new heading. I will go to Home tab, heading 1. I will select 3.0 and I will say this is heading 3. Under heading 3, what I will have is a bunch of text I will copy from the internet, and suppose you took this content from a research paper, you paraphrased it and you wrote this content, and you want to refer to this sort of particular paragraph, and you want to say that this is being obtained by the work of some people who have done a research. So what you need to do is you need to first go to that source. So I took a paper from IEEE Explorer, a particular famous library for conference papers and journals. And what you can do is scroll down to the bottom where you have all the necessary information. So you have the conference that it was published in, you have the date of the conference, you have the uh, DUI, you have the conference location and etc. So all these details are here along with author's details as well. Or what you can do is, another common method is to copy the title of a paper. It doesn't have to be in IEEE. Whatever the title, you can copy it. You can go to Google Scholar and you can paste it. And then you will find the respective paper, and after this what you can do is again you can extract each and every element. So the author's names, the conference name and title, the year and etc., you can extract it from Google Scholar, or you can click the cite button and it will generate the citation. And here also you can find the names of the authors, the conference, the paper title, the conference title, the pages, everything you can find here as well. There are some other websites that does the same thing, such as Cite This For Me. You can use those resources as well to generate all the required content to put into the citations in Word. So what you can do is go to the place where you want to keep the insert the citation, go to reference, insert citation, you can go to add new source. This time I will go with conference proceedings because I'm putting a conference paper. And for authors, you can select edit, and there are multiple authors for this paper. But for this demonstration purposes, I will just pick out two or three names. So again, you can insert your first and last name separately. So I have added 3 authors, so you can select OK, and then you can put the title of the paper, so it is there in the particular website, either in IEEE or Google Scholar. You can copy and paste the paper title, and you can say the year, this is 2021, and you can find the city as well sometimes, but in certain places the city is not given. But in this case, if I go to IEEE, the conference location is there. So in this case, Negombo is the city. So I will go to the Word document, and I will go to the city and paste Negombo, and publisher here is IEEE, and you can select OK, and the respective Harvard style citation will be automatically generated, right? Because in Harvard, if there are 2 or more authors, more than 2 authors, you will get ETAL, and the respective year, everything is published in this heading, in this citation. This is a brief overview of how you can build up the content for your professional report, your assignment, your thesis, your portfolio. Obviously, you can add on top of these things. You can even use indentations for certain titles. Like, for example, some prefer if the main heading is towards the left indentation. So the first subheading, you can go right one indentations. So any changes you can make, but this is how you can generally build up your document. And after that, any document ends with references, and then you have the appendices. So here I will have the reference. Again, you don't need to manually create any references. Since we use the citation commands in Microsoft Word and utilize all those tools, we can automatically generate the list of references that we obtain for this particular document. So what you can do is go to a new page. You need to click on bibliography, insert inside the references tab, and just select bibliography, and this will generate all the references that you have used for your report or your document in the particular format, that the style that you have selected. So in this case, I have selected Harvard, so this is the Harvard format. I can change the alignment a little bit. I can go with left align, because in this case it will make things neater, and I can make the title as a heading. I can select heading 1, and I can make it all caps, so it follows all the previous styles as well. So I have created the bibliography. It's very important to reference all your resources when you are creating any professional document. Now we have the structure, we have the headings, subheadings, figures, and labels, and etc. You can now create the table of contents automatically. Again, you don't need to do anything. Hard work is done through Microsoft Word. You need to go to References tab. On the left hand side, you have table of contents, and you can select what you prefer. So I will select automatic table 2, and this will create the table of contents with proper formatting. So I have heading 1, then that is 1.0, then 1.1 is subheading, and everything is formatted by Word. Only thing is, I can change the formatting of the table of contents one. So I can select Times New Roman for that, black color, and I can go with 12 and all uppercase to make things consistent across the board. And also, if you have figures, you need to put the list of figures as well. Again, you don't need to insert it manually. What you can do is, you can go to references, then there is an option called insert table of figures. You can go there, and then you need to select what is the caption. So whether you want to get the figures or tables or equations. So first of all, I will select figures, because I want to get the list of figures. All hyperlinks will be automatically generated. So this is my figure list of figures. So obviously I only have one here, but you can add more figures. I will have to have the heading added manually in this case. So I will go to heading 1 and say list of figures. Similar thing I can do for the list of tables as well. I can go to references. I can go to insert table of figures. Now my caption is tables. Click OK. List of tables appeared, and again I will do the manual heading. Now I inserted two headings for list of figures and list of tables, but they are not in the main table of contents. But you need to include that, so you don't have to delete it and generate it again. What you can do is, there is an option called update table. You can go to update table, and there are two other options. You can either update only the page numbers, but in this case we didn't change the page numbers, but we changed the entire table because we inserted new headings. So you can go to update entire table and click OK, and the table of content will be updated. And before you save the Word document, you can make any fine adjustments and again update the table of contents. If you want, you can put a page number as well. So you can put the page number as a footer. So go to the bottom of the page, double click it, get the footer menu, and after that you can select a footer style. So there are several ways you can put the page. So this is something I like. It's for page 1 of the amount of pages you have, right? And it's at the center, but you can change it. Go to the home tab, you can change the color, you can make the font bigger, smaller, however you like. And if you want your page numbers to appear on the bottom right, you can use that alignment, and all the page numbers will be automatically appear. So this is a brief overview on how you can create and format a proper Word document that can be used for any professional activity. This can be your assignments, this can be your lab report or your final thesis. You can use it in any way or form, but it is very much convenient to have everything automated. There are many other options which I did not cover, but if there is a necessity, I will bring those in a later video.